Hello YouTube. Today I will tell you more about the magnificent ancient civilizations of India, Bharata, and their fantastic advanced aircraft, a subject I really like to explore as much as I can. The court poet to King Ananta of Kashmir, Somadeva, apparently was commissioned to compose a cycle of stories to amuse and calm the queen Shuryamati during a political crisis. So he borrowed from an earlier work, now lost, the Brihat Katha, Great Tale, by the Sanskrit writer Gunadhya, who probably had used Buddhist sources of an even earlier period. To some, Somadeva's work, Katha Saratsagara, Ocean of Rivers of Stories, bears a strong resemblance to medieval European fairy tales, magic, demons, bloody orgies, vampires, love, and high adventure, all abound in the 124 sections or chapters known as Taranga, waves. There was an English translation by Charles Toney titled The Ocean of Story and published in 1924-1928 period. Somadeva wrote his monumental work during the two periods of Ananta's interrupted rule, which ended in the year 1077. Indian mythology and folktales are rich with interesting characters, amazing stories, and valuable lessons, and apparently references to ancient advanced machines, either created during the Indian civilization or even earlier. Soviet-Ukrainian authors Burgansky and Furdui, in their book Riddles of Antiquity, titled in English, mentioned about the man-made devices, referring to Somadeva's Ocean of Legends, as it says. In one of the sections, the author tells about two carpenters, great craftsmen, Pranadhara and Rajyadhara. The eldest, Pranadhara, loved to roam about, squandered all his possessions, and when he became completely impoverished, despite the warnings of his younger brother, with the help of cunningly made goose robots, he began to steal valuables from the royal treasury. It would be great to see one of those goose robots. Over time, Pranadhar was suspected, so he had to flee. On the eve of his escape, he tells his younger brother, "In the morning, the king will find out about everything and order us to be captured as thieves. After all, everyone knows that only we can make different mechanisms. I have an airship that flies as much as 800 yojanas from one turn of the lever, an ancient Indian by the way, the yojana, ancient Indian measure of length, which according to various sources is from 12 to 16 kilometers. Let's fly together to a bitter foreign land." That's what he said. But the younger brother refused, saying that there were already too many passengers on his brother's ship, so he would not be able to fly far. Pranadhara flew with his whole family, and Rajyadhara narrated that at dawn, fearing the wrath of the king, I boarded the second ship, which I built myself, and immediately I passed 200 yojanas, and I also turned the lever, and 200 more yojanas passed my ship, absorbing the celestial space. So the brothers separated. Then, for various reasons, they independently built two more airships and presented them to the prince and his beloved when the prince's flying ship, donated by the gods, broke down. Here the Soviet writers make a small digression and draw readers' attention to such a circumstance. In many of the works of Indian authors mentioned by them in their book, flying ships break down, get into accidents, crash, disintegrate, they're repaired, and so forth. And where have you seen, say, a magic carpet plane break down? After all, it is magical in order to save the protagonist under any circumstances. Otherwise, in a fairy tale, it's not needed at all. And in the Indian works, in the Indian literature, mythology, and so forth, these ships are capricious from time to time. They do not help the hero, but on the contrary, they create obstacles for him, not really due to the plot's necessity. So Somadeva, who lived and worked in the 11th century, was sure that an airship could be created not only by gods, but also by people. Moreover, he believed that such a man-made ship was by no means worse than a non-man-made one, if not better. Or take the book Panchata Tantra. It contains a story about how in ancient India, 6 young men constructed an apparatus similar in description to an airship that could take off, move in the air, and land on the ground. Is this science fiction from ancient India or information about technology lost over time? In my other videos about ancient India's flying machines, you will find more information. But what if this technology existed even before folklore of ancient India and was borrowed, so to say? We just don't know enough. But I have nothing but respect for India's magnificent past and the stories that we find and the inventions and discoveries. You can see them in my other videos. All I can say, Earthlings in the antiquity had reached heights of civilization and created incredible technologies with or without help from any aliens. And India is a great example of that. And that's what I wanted to let you know today. And if you like my videos and my research, please kindly help me through the links you will find in the description to this video. Please like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and tell others. Thank you.